So Taraji P. Henson at the BET Awards spoke about Project 2025, in which Republicans seek to undo American democracy and to completely destroy our federal government to help Donald Trump secure power till infinity and beyond. Let's watch the clip of her warning the American people about it. And it also leads to the topic of the video, Donald Trump getting on Truth Social. This is ironic. Donald Trump gets on Truth Social to lie about how he doesn't know about Project 2025, but we gonna light his ass up too, lying ass.
To play chess, not checkers. It's about making decisions that will affect us as human beings, our careers, our next generations to come. Did you know that it is now a crime to be homeless? Pay attention. It's not a secret. Look it up. They are attacking our most vulnerable citizens. The Project 2025 plan is not a game. Look it up.
Now, one of the things I love most about Donald Trump, Uncle Trump, I call him you know what I'm saying? One of the things I love most about Donald, he's a damn liar. All Donald Trump does is lie. And because Donald Trump is such an old head, Donald Trump thought that if he named his website Truth Social, that everyone would just automatically believe anything emanating from that website would automatically be the truth. So Donald Trump goes on his Truth Social app to lie to the American people about Project 2025. He claims to know absolutely nothing about it at all. Donald Trump completely lies about knowing anything about it. Donald Trump says, I know nothing about Project 2025. I have no idea who's behind it. I disagree with some of the things they're saying, and some of the things they're saying are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. Anything they do, I wish them luck, but I have nothing to do with them. Donald Trump is a liar. Donald Trump is a blatant liar. And underneath this post, we see 303 retruths, which is unbelievably ironic, again, because this entire post is made up of the foulest of bullshit. So, back to Twitter, back to X, the Biden-Harris HQ account exposes Donald Trump's obvious lie. So, Donald Trump's super PAC is running ads promoting 2025, Project 2025, calling it Trump's Project 2025. So here we have Make America Great Again, Inc. Sounds like a villain organization from like, I don't know, like Pixar. So here we have Project 2025, Trump versus Biden from TrumpProject2025.com. Guess what? Make America Great Again, Inc. is sponsoring it. Make America Great Again, Inc. Here we go again. The truth about Project 2025. Trump versus Biden sponsored. Trump Project 2025. It just continues and continues. These things are clearly associated. Some of these have had $35,000 to $40,000 spent on them. Seen 25,000 to 30,000 times. Run all throughout late June. So, come to find out, one of his former top aides, John McCantee, is also one of the individuals behind Project 2025. Here we have Donald Trump seen with him personally right here. Donald Trump is actively lying because it works. We know he knows the people behind Project 2025 because not only do we clearly see one of its top promoters next to Donald J. Trump, we also know this because the Heritage Foundation is the main group behind Project 2025. Here we have Donald Trump literally acknowledging the Heritage Foundation and speaking to them at one of their conventions.
Your organization is named the Heritage Foundation, because you understand that our glorious heritage is the foundation of everything we hope to achieve. Which is why we need the help of the Heritage Foundation and everyone here tonight to get our tax cuts through the House.
You know what's funny about this is Donald Trump talks about our heritage. Our heritage. Need I remind you of something? Donald Trump is a second-generation immigrant. This is not, you know, it's funny, white people always assume that because someone else is white, they all of a sudden have some long and storied heritage in America. Nope. Donald Trump is a second-generation immigrant. Donald Trump has a shorter bloodline in America than Barack Obama, and Barack Obama's half Kenyan. The man's mother was white. His father was Kenyan. Barack Obama has a longer lineage in the United States than Donald J. Trump. But because Donald Trump is a white man, he's automatically welcomed into the heritage of America, despite the fact that Donald Trump has zero heritage in this country. Zero. None. Zilch. Nada. Nothing. His family has no heritage in America. None. He is a second-generation immigrant, and I feel the need to point this out because this is the individual, Donald J. Trump, who constantly questioned the Americanhood of Barack Obama, despite the fact that Barack Obama's mother has a far longer lineage in this country than Donald Trump. To me, it doesn't even like it doesn't make. I know why they feel this. It's racism. It is. Donald Trump has an even weaker heritage in this nation than me. I mean, I don't even know why I'm comparing myself to him in that way. My history in this country goes back like 400 before we were even an independent nation. My family's been here. My heritage goes back generations in this country. Probably as far back as the average black American, the average white Southerner who can trace their heritage to the white Southern farmers and planter class, and even sometimes even slave-owning aristocrats. Donald Trump has no heritage in America, which I simply bring this up to remind you the kind of people we are dealing with, the kind of people who think that because they are white, they're automatically entitled to dictate what America should be, regardless of whether they even have any heritage in this nation at all. Just be white with blonde hair and blue eyes and you get to call the shots for everyone. Even white people whose family's been here longer than you. It's just pure racism. Now, the Heritage Foundation are a bunch of... To make things worse for Donald, his new press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, stars in one of the recruiting ads for Project 2025. And like I just stated, Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation is made up of a bunch of pussies. And how we know this to be true is because, looky here. I want you to see Caroline Leavitt right here. She's a Gen Z attempted congresswoman, I believe. Here we have a currently unlisted video by the Heritage Foundation of Christine Leavitt. Okay? She is an individual who is now working within the Trump campaign. Donald Trump swears to God he does not know who these people are or what they are about, despite the fact that there are multiple pieces of evidence connecting him to this organization all the time. Donald, you know, I'm not even going to admonish Trump for lying. I'm not even about to sit here and be like, I can't believe you lying again. Oh my God. All he does is lie. What else would I expect from this man? I don't even know why I'm sitting here saying this. All he does is lie. All he does is lie. Misinformation on misinformation. Just a liar. Constant liar. Repeated liar. All this man does is lie. Now here we have the Project 2025 leader, Kevin Roberts, saying that Donald Trump gets full credit for being associated with the Project 2025, plan, and that it will be enacted if Trump wins.
Or any conservative presidential candidates had even entered the race. As my friend and colleague Paul Dans before talked about briefly, our Project 2025 has developed a comprehensive policy agenda, but even more importantly, recruiting people, 20,000 people to go into the next administration, hopefully to help take back this country for you and for your audiences. We want no credit. We want the American people, if President Trump is elected again, President Trump and his administration to take credit for that. But it will also be a great sign if all of this is successful, that in fact, as we know in our prayer time, but maybe not every time when we're watching the news, that the Lord is still smiling upon America.
When he talks about 20,000 people being hired, he's talking about gutting the entire executive branch and replacing it with Trump loyalists. Now, that might sound familiar. See, the kind of nations that do stupid shit like this, Russia, China, very incompetent countries. See, what happens when you gut the entire executive branch of the government and replace it with Trump loyalists is you get an entire government comprised not of people who work for the will of the people, but people who work for Donald Trump. See, when you're the president of the United States, when you serve this nation, as an elected official or as a member of the military. I'm not sure about people who simply work for the government. But when you become an elected official or a member of the military, you swear an oath to the Constitution. Does it make any sense to fill the entire executive branch of the government with people whose oath is not to this nation or the Constitution, but to Donald Trump? Donald Trump has already been seen on Truth Social calling for the termination of the Constitution if the results of an election don't go his way. So here we have a man who believes himself to be above the U.S. Constitution. This is the same guy who talked about our glorious heritage he thinks that he's a part of because he's white. This individual has no respect for anything American. He doesn't. He does not. He has no comprehension of our system, our laws, our government. The only thing he thinks about is Trump. That's all he cares about. To make matters worse, the people comprising of Project 2025 also want to destroy the Department of Education because of woke narratives in education and in schools. You can't make this. You can't make it. These people are dumb.
These proposals are extreme because the people who wrote them are extreme. And they've been laying all of this out in plain view, mostly on conservative podcasts. One of the major architects of Project 2025 is Russell Vought, who served in the White House during Trump's first term. He's a self-described Christian nationalist, and here he is making a targeted pitch for one funding cut that Trump could make.
I am opposed to the Department of Education because I think it's the Department of Critical Race Theory.
100%.
I mean, you have grants after grant of culturally responsive learning where you're funding essentially a cultural revolution, not just with teachers, but with the students. That's what all this wokeism about.
We're going to defund the entire Department of Education because a small minority of people are consuming information I don't like. I want you to understand something. If you're, you know what a normal, well-adjusted adult would say? As a white father, I'm concerned that my white children and other white children are going to be taught anti-white narratives in school. That's what a well-rounded adult would say. But when you have someone who is absolutely incompetent and a dork who only cares about forcing religion on everyone else, you get someone who wants to cut an entire department of our government because they're teaching a small minority of people, mostly in college, things he doesn't like. You can't make this shit up. Do you actually believe he wants to defund the Department of Education because of critical race theory? Or, the more likely answer, he wants to defund the entire Department of Education to replace it with what he wants to teach people's children. He probably wants to rewrite the truth of the Civil War, probably wants to rewrite the truth of Jim Crow, and all the horrible things that happened to black people in America. Because the reality is, you don't need to defund the entire Department of Education to take care of anti-white narratives in school. But the goal is not to stop anti-white narratives in school. The goal is to erase parts of history or to whitewash parts of history that make white people feel uncomfortable. Instead of, we know this is common because Republicans held a vote on whether to keep Confederate statues in the Capitol or not. Swaths of Republicans voted to keep them. Because see, to these people, the lie that the Confederacy didn't fight for slavery, or the lie that the Confederacy did not betray the United States of America, the lie that the Confederacy was not founded on evil, these lies are more important to these people than the truth of the Black American struggle and Black American story. So defunding the entire Department of Education is in this man's best interest for obvious reasons. He wants white children to learn a false sense of history at black children's expense. Instead of this genius idea, how about we ban anti-white narratives from schools? Because guess what? Racism is wrong. There you go. That's all you have to do. You don't gotta destroy the department. But what the fuck be wrong with these niggas, bro? Like, what the fuck? They got what, bro? Real talk, bro. What's wrong with these niggas, bro? You about to defund the entire Department of Education because of one little smidget of a thing you don't like? So if there's a stain in your kitchen, if there's a stain on the fridge, you're gonna blow up the whole. You gonna detonate the whole house because you see a little stain in the kitchen you don't like. These are the kind of people we dealing with, bro. And they want to take over this whole country and drive it into the ground. And then we got Donald Trump over there talking about I don't even know these people, despite the fact that these people are working or have worked in his administration. Oh, and by the way, it gets worse. The guy we saw before, Kevin Roberts, talking about how Donald Trump is the one to be thanked for what we're about to bring into America, and the Lord, this smile on, whatever the hell he's talking about. Kevin Roberts, that guy, he talks about how Project 2025 and the new Trump administration will herald a new American revolution that will be a bloodless one as long as leftists allow it, liberals allow it to be. These people are trying to destroy everything that makes our country unique. And if you think they're going to stop, if you think they're going to draw a line in the sand just because they've done a little bit of damage, you're wrong. They're starting with what's palatable now. But as they gain power and dominion in this nation, you will begin to see the uglier sides of their ideology begin to come out. Racism, sexism, these things will begin to grow.
We are going to win. We're in the process of taking this country back. We are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Now, why would a revolution need to be bloodless? Could it possibly be that you people are planning and plotting to force things on the American people that the American people do not want? It's really funny that dorks who walk around with Under Armour shirts that say freedom and liberty and revolution feel such a strong need to deprive everyone else of their own freedom. These are the kinds of nerds we're dealing with, the kinds of weirdos we're dealing with. Now, I can't really talk too much about being a nerd. I play Victoria 3, I play Skyrim, I play Total War, I play all that nerd shit, but come on, these dudes are just dorks. A bloodless revolution as long as the left allows it to be. These are the kinds of people Donald Trump is openly associating with. And then he goes on social media to lie about whether or not he knows them. Whether or not he's associated with them. We know, but like they worked with you or work with you or have met you. There's literally video of Kevin Roberts and Donald Trump literally dapping up. Here we have Donald Trump shaking hands and then praising leader of Project 2025, Kevin Roberts, which Trump denies knowing anything about. Here we go.
Heritage Foundation president, somebody else doing an unbelievable job. He's bringing it back to levels it's never seen. Dr. Kevin Roberts.
Donald. All that lying. What, like, bro, Trump. Here I go trying to get Trump trying to negotiate with Donald Trump, asking him to tell the truth. But he's never going to tell the truth, bro. This man's a liar. I know nothing about Project 2025. I have no idea who is behind it. This man's a liar. I disagree with some of the things they're saying. So Donald Trump denies knowing anything about it, which we know he does know because the people who are associated with it work with him and have acknowledged the relation between the two. We saw his campaign being involved with Project 2025. We saw the paperwork. Then he says, I have no idea who's behind it. This is the even more egregious lie because the people behind it somehow, coincidentally, just happen to know him personally, have worked with him in the past, and work with him in the... Oh, would you look at that? They work with him in the present. Bruh. He goes on to lie again and say, I disagree with some of the things they're saying. And some of the things they are saying are ridiculous and abysmal. Anything they do, I wish them luck, but I have nothing to do with them. A blatant liar of the highest level. This is an individual who knows exactly what he's doing. This is an individual who is a bold-faced liar. And the reality is, these people want to reshape the government in their own way. Steve Bannon, a criminal who was pardoned by Donald Trump. You know, these people cry about, these people, Steve Bannon was pardoned by Trump. Hunter Biden has yet to receive a pardon from his own father. Here we have Steve Bannon talking about how they're going to restructure the entire federal government, restructure the entire Department of Justice, only of people who support Trump. Not if they're effective, not if they have morals, only if they will let us get away with committing crimes. Mind you, the Trump administration is littered with the corpses of those who have went to jail behind Trump and his shenanigans.
The DOJ is completely corrupt from top to bottom. It's going to have to be purged. It's going to have to be restructured. They're going to have to get rid of tons of billets over there and lots of personnel on the afternoon of January 20th, 2025. They understand this. And the FBI is the American Gestapo. As an institution, they are not worthy of going forward. That's going to have to totally be restructured. I've been strongly for getting rid of the FBI, starting over again with some federal law enforcement to the degree you need it.
What he means is, I want to remodel the FBI in a way that allows us to do whatever the fuck we want. That is what they want. They want to replace the entire government full of people who are loyal to them and only them. What this usually creates, in case you didn't know, is called incompetence. These people want to destroy the Department of Education. They want to take away any and all abortion rights. These people want to completely reshape the entire government in a way that allows them to do as they please with no accountability or impunity. These people have to be stopped. They have to be stopped. I'm sorry, but if you're voting for Trump this year, you are on the wrong side of history. And it's not going to be like the Civil War where you guys pull some crazy shit and everybody goes loose. This time, it's going to be, it needs to be abundantly clear to everyone who plunged America into this darkness. It needs to be abundantly clear. The Trump name will not escape unscathed from this foolishness. That name will forever be associated with chaos in politics forever. I promise you. Please vote blue this year. Please. Donald Trump is so, like, his plan and him and his folk are so evil that Joe Biden, despite being decades past his prime, is the obvious better choice. Please do not vote for Donald Trump in 2025. He is not your buddy. He is not your friend. And this nation is not going to survive another Trump administration. At least not as we know it today. Please vote blue in November. Thank you for watching.